Hi, my name is Colonel Jeff Halick, U.S. Army retired, and I'm a volunteer at the National Museum of the United States Army. I currently retired after 30 years in the Army, and I feel like I am actually part of that living history experience. And when people want to come and visit the museum and want to know what it was like to serve in the Army or be in the Army or stories or experiences, I want to share with them those life experiences. And I know a lot of people that come into the museum, the Army Museum, want to share their experiences with someone sometimes as they walk through the exhibits and the galleries. And I feel like that's a bond that we have, and it's special, and I want to continue to do that. I like the Changing World Gallery. I lived that from the end of the Cold War. I was actually commissioned in 91, so I feel like I've been serving in that gallery for the longest time, and I feel like I could walk out of the glass case and be a person who's lived through a couple of those campaigns, be it Kosovo or the global war on terrorism or Iraq. The favorite part for me is sharing stories with people, explaining what the Army is, what it's like to be in the Army, what the different exhibits are, helping people through. When they see you light up, they light up and they want to be there, and it's just my favorite part. It's just continuing to serve, giving back. There's a lot of dogs in the Army. People might not know that. There's like hundreds of dogs. Horses are still used in the Army. If there's a lot of pet lovers out there and animal lovers, actually horses were still used in combat, I think, through 2001 with Afghanistan, the invasion of Afghanistan. I think I have many memorable moments, but my favorite ones are the stories, and especially when the World War II veterans come in, and there's not that many left, unfortunately, as we're all getting older, to hear their stories and to understand what they went through back, in the 40s. And I just love hearing that, and it just brings a different perspective to service in the Army and what the Army was like and how it has changed. I joined the Army in high school, actually, and one of the reasons why I actually joined the Army was I needed money to pay for school, believe it or not. And at that time, there was an Army ROTC scholarship, and I didn't really know what the Army was about. My family wasn't part of the military service in any way, but it was a door that was open that allowed me to do that, to get my education and serve in the military. And I picked the Army. At the time, they had the best scholarship, and luckily I was selected. And that was back in 1987, and I've stayed with it ever since, and I've loved it. And that was the reason why. But after I got into it and understood what the Army and the military life was, I really liked it. And being a reserve officer, I was able to do both. So I was a citizen soldier, so I could do the Army and my civilian career at the same time. Not all the time. Sometimes I'm activated for different deployments, but that's why I joined the Army. Wow, that's a tough one. I have lots of memorable moments, but the personnel I served with, I have memorable moments with them, support, but I guess my deployments were the most memorable. Probably being in Iraq when the war kicked off, serving in a combat area of operations, and you train all your life basically to defend or defeat the enemy. And here we were sent in miles away into a desert, and doing that was wow, just as a reserve soldier who doesn't live the Army 365 days a year, per se, then to get mobilized and deployed to Iraq, that was pretty memorable. with the gas alarms going off because we feared of the Scuds coming in with different types of gases and those types of things, and going in to different places in Iraq. Those are all memorable, and helping the people. I mean, I remember seeing, I do remember, this was a memorable, going on a convoy, and I remember the children who didn't have shoes on and obviously were very hungry and needed food in southern Iraq, and they would keep going like this, you know, send us food or water. And I remember we really couldn't throw stuff off the convoy because everybody was afraid they would just run, and they would, you know, run and they would get in front of the convoy and, you know, could possibly run them over and stuff. So it was very disheartening to see that, but I understood the safety part of it. But that was a memorable experience to see that. Being an Army reservist, I think people might not understand that you can do both, right? You could be in the Army and have a civilian career if you'd like. I think that's important to know. I think it's important to know that there are so many different skill sets that the Army needs. From nurses to tank drivers to helicopter pilots to finance officers, which I am, to logistics. I mean, you can think of it, and the Army probably can use it in some way or another. Well, one of the things I can tell them is I served on Fort Belvoir, where the museum is, right across the street as an Army reservist, which I think was pretty neat. And I'm currently still in the government. I work for the U.S. government in the Department of Defense. So, you know, those different types of information and stories, it brings a connection to people when they step in the museum and they go, oh, wow, you know, this person actually lived it and knows about it and actually served across the street. That's really cool. You know, watch the building being completed with the construction. Wow, everything. I just love the museum, the way it's laid out, the big open spaces, the exhibits, the galleries. From it's chronological from, you know, the founding of the nation all the way through to present day. They've got an art gallery on the second floor, and on the third floor they have the Medal of Honor winners, and they actually have people come in and do different displays. They talk about the Revolutionary and the musket and how that shoots with the ball and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people don't realize when they go into the museum, you need to look up, around, everywhere. There's moving things everywhere. There's displays, there's moving displays, there's helicopters, there's missiles, there's tanks. In World War I, you go in the trenches. I mean, there's society, and it talks about, you know, the first helicopters that the Army used and how the Army's progressed, you know, through the ages. Yeah, there is just so much about the museum. Aesthetically, it's pleasing. There's a great cafe. And of course, we have the volunteers, which are there to help and bring a smile. And yeah, I think it's great. And I love it. And I just welcome everybody to the museum. You could spend at least a day there, no problem. But even if you can't, and you can spend only 30 minutes there, it's still worth the visit.